Welcome back, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. My name is Pritesh with KAIZN Crypto. In this video, I'm really excited to be joined by Vince, one of the stake pool operators on Cardano, operating the 100x stake pool, and also the creator of the Worlds Within NFT project. So, Vince, thanks so much for joining us today, man. How are you doing?
Oh man, Pritesh, Kaizen, thank you for having me. I'm doing very well, man. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was so happy to get a chance to meet you in person back first in Wyoming and then again in Miami. It's just such an incredible experience.
Yes. One of the things that happens fairly regularly, people introduce us to each other quite often. First, it was I want to say it was Cardano 420 introduced you to me in Wyoming. Then Patrick from NFT Maker introduced me to you in Miami. Then Cardano man introduced you to me like 15 minutes later.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, just to see the different collaborations from the community. You got people from all over the world coming together and you never know who you're going to meet. That's the amazing thing about it. It's like we're all kind of coming together with this common vision and people from all walks of life, just being able to meet face to face, doing podcasts like this. It's always a great experience. But
For sure.
yeah, man. So I'm really looking forward to chatting with you about what you've been up to. I guess to get things started, maybe just tell our audience a little bit more about you, what got you into Cardano, a little bit about your background. And then I'd love to talk with you more about your projects and your stake pool. So yeah, man, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, definitely. From Texas, I'm definitely family oriented. I come from a very small, like personal family, but a large extended family. So if I majority of the time, that's where you'll catch me is hanging out with my family members. And from there, really, they gave me this hunger for technology and a want to learn. And so I started off and I first heard about cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin in 2013. But of course, I was very apprehensive about it. I didn't like everyone has this I like to say that people aren't ready until they're ready. And
Yep.
at the time I just wasn't ready yet. And then 2016 2017 rolls around and then I'm warming up to the idea. I'm starting to do my own research. I'm starting to look into different projects. Of course, I'm looking at different things on Ethereum. I'm like and I'm purchasing like crypto kitties and I'm trying to be a part of Decentraland. And there's all these projects that I'm just like enamored by. And then I see like the whiteboard video. And then from there, it was just like,
Yeah.
this is the network. Like this is the one where it's like, it's more so not about how much revenue everyone's making. It's more so about like what the community can build together. And from that, I've been hooked ever since.
Yeah, man. Just the same thing from my experience as well. It all comes at you so quick. You don't really know like what to focus on. But then, yeah, exactly the same thing happened to me, man. Like you see that iconic Charles Hoskinson whiteboard video, and then the rest is history. It's just amazing to see how well he was able to articulate his vision in a single video, nonetheless, and just build an entire community around it. So that's fantastic, man. It's really cool just to hear different people's perspectives and their backgrounds about how they got involved in this space. It feels like, we've been here for a while, but then it still seems like we're still pretty early.
Oh, without a doubt, we're just now, we finally have Gogan and, we're waiting on more updates to the PAB and we're just now starting to have like that growth of dApps and
Yep.
DEXs that we've always been wanting. And I feel like the explosion of NFTs that we've had since March in the way that our community has surged and grown in that manner, I can't even imagine what's going to happen once you have Sunday Swap Live and these other dexes
All these
like
DeFi projects.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
Liquid, Indigo Protocol. There's just so much out there. Even with ADA handle, like look how the guys just handled their release. Just amazing stuff on the way.
That's fantastic. Yeah, man, it's incredible just to see the growth in the community. So talking about that, I want to get into that with you as well, these NFTs. So NFTs came about on Cardano back in March of this
Yes.
year. So you are actually the founder of the Worlds Within NFT project. So when I saw this at first, I was like, okay, I'll check this out. It's something cool. And then I purchased one of these NFTs, seamless experience to purchase it. And then I go to click on it. You go to pool.pm and you can kind of
Hmm.
visualize what it is. And I was just mind blown, man. Like it was just so cool to see what you had done with this. So it's kind of like an AR type thing with these NFTs. Tell us a little bit more about that, man. What was the inspiration behind World Within? And I guess what was the experience like creating that project?
Let me start at the very beginning. At the time, I don't know if you know, I'm a massive fan of the Cardano over coffee community, right? Like Hero Pool, Cardano waifus, you'll have
Yep.
Epoch from Epochs in there, Ali Illustrated there. So I'm a massive fan of the community. Those guys knew that I was super into VR, and I had experience with a few different, like web VR frameworks from years ago. And someone mentioned to me, like, hey man, like there's a real possibility that like people could take advantage of these frameworks. We just had saw what the guys from Dead Pixel and Stellar Hood were able to do with like their like web-based NFTs. And it's just like, if that's possible, then maybe, you know, VR NFTs are possible right now. And so a conversation that sparked up between myself and Weird Wizzy going back and forth on like what are the different frameworks that are possible, just kind of just it felt like a natural evolution of what we could build on Cardano. And for me specifically, it was like, okay, well, if we know that we can build scenes that allow users to have the ability to move around on mobile, desktop, or VR, then the best thing we should do is we should give them actual virtual worlds and let them explore them and see where they can go from there.
Wow. Yeah, that's really cool. I like how you're able to experience that with the VR and you can go and see these different concepts of these worlds that you've created. And you don't even have to have like the headset or anything like
Yes.
that. So of course, great work from Smog, right? Just bringing us
Yeah.
pool.pm. That's an amazing tool, especially for the NFT space. I think it's just really cool what you created, man. Like you created a novel idea in the sense that this is all contained within this NFT. So
Right.
now, as far as the different attributes for some of these, I guess it's a virtual world, really. Like, is it all contained within IPFS, or is it like this like self-generating thing, or like is it stored in metadata? How does it work exactly?
So it's actually stored within IPFS, right? There's like, unfortunately, we couldn't compress it down enough to make it on chain. That was the original goal. We really wanted to, like, for the full experience, to have the post processing for different weather cycles, to have different particle effects, we have to use IPFS. And like, one of the major concerns for us is that, once something becomes too hardware intensive when you're using these frameworks, they stop loading on devices. And so we wanted to make sure that every device can have as close as possible to this exact same experience. That way, across the board, users could, they'll be able to see the weather, whether they're on their phone, they'll be able to see different particles, whether they're on the desktop or in VR. But in VR, like if you're on a Quest or one of the HTC headsets, it's a they're very different experience for sure.
I bet. I bet. I know. I'm really excited about being able to try it out with one of those headsets. But that's really cool, man. So IPFS makes sense. Makes sense. I mean, something like that to be able to store it on chain, that's
Yeah,
that would be impressive.
definitely impressive.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. I feel like it's just a really cool thing what you've created in terms of what you have planned for the project now moving forward, I guess, in terms of any potential roadmap, or I don't know if you've thought about anything like maybe Easter eggs within the virtual worlds. I don't know like what your thoughts are there, but could you tell us a little bit more about what you have planned going forward?
Well, there's a couple things that we have planned going forward, but one of the big things about this project is like we're very focused on interoperability, right? We want to make sure that people who have a Worlds Within NFT, they're able to take it within, whether it be Decentraland, Sandbox, Pavia, Crypto Voxels, Cornucopia. We want to make it so that like not only can you have the same experience that you would experience in a setting where the NFTs in what they call like a iframe, which is like the pool PM setting, right? We also want to make it so that like if you want to, you can download it, the actual GLB files, and then upload it wherever you want, right? Because that's true. Like this technology is meant to be permissionless, right? So no one should have to ask me like, well, hey, Vince, can I do this with my NFT? No, dude, this is your NFT. You should be able to do what you want with it. And so we're providing users who have these NFTs in their wallets, the GLB files on the website. So it's like something that's already available. And so in the future, we plan to work on partnerships and making sure that like that transition of including worlds within NFTs, whether it be the actual NFT how you would normally see it on Pool PM, or including the files on other projects. And so that's one of the major things that we're working on right now. And we have one like that's in the works, which I'm super excited about. That's going to happen in January. From there, it's about creating a avatar system and making sure we have persistent state within the worlds, meaning that if someone does something within one of the worlds within NFTs, and of course we can't do this like from the NFT itself, we'll have to have a web server that's centralized. But what we want to do is we want to make it so that anyone can host their own server of collection of worlds, so that you don't have to participate in ours specifically. You can host your own if you want. Like I said earlier, this technology is supposed to be permissionless, so it's not particularly about everyone has to be on our server to have this experience. No, like as we build this technology, we want to share it with other people, because eventually they will be the people who are creating these metaversal communities. And I had a conversation with James from Gimbal Labs, and he was telling me specifically, people feel as the metaverse will be this one place that you would go, but really it's this like entire universe of experience that are like captured online, And for people who are like me, I'm a VR super user, where it's like I spend 5 to 6 hours a day in VR because that's where I feel comfortable. I've been doing that since 2016. And like in that environment, the easing friction for users who are planning to use crypto while in VR is something that I'm very focused on.
Wow. Yeah, that's really cool. That's an interesting thought there, seeing that you've been using it for that long. So since 2016. So it makes
Yes.
perfect sense, for you to come up with a project like this. And then to your point, exactly, it's supposed to be permissionless, right? So the users who are going to be interacting with these projects are going to have I guess you could call it like a VR ecosystem that they can use. And then it's going to be so many different experiences from multiple different projects, which would allow them to, I guess maybe get a taste of each different flavor within the metaverse, for lack of a better way to put it. But yeah, man, that's exciting. That's really cool. Changing gears a little bit. So I wanted to talk with you a little bit more about your stake pool. So
Yes.
you're the stake pool operator of the 100x stake pool. I guess love to know your experience there, and what that journey has been like for you. And I guess just what was the inspiration behind wanting to be a stake pool operator?
Oh, so 2019, right before I wouldn't say what, October, November, I'm on the ITN. I didn't move over enough Cardano, from exchanges, because at the time I'm like, I can still keep my crypto on exchanges. I've learned
Oh
since
yeah.
then.
Got you one of those ledgers or
Yes,
treasures, right? Yeah.
definitely gotta have a hardware wallet.
Hardware wallet.
But
Yep.
at the time, I was like, what's the harm? I'm not going to miss out on anything. Little did I know, I missed out on a large portion of the rewards that were on the ITN. But what I realized is like, I was earning consistently the staking rewards. And at the time it was daily, and I was like, man, I think they might have gotten the technology right. And if they've gotten the technology right for the test net, then eventually when they release on mainnet, then it's for sure going to work. And so from there, I was like, okay, I have to learn how to build a stake pool. And at the time, I don't remember my original ticker name. And so I built a small stake pool on the ITN, and it was more so for the learning process. And back then, it was built in Rust, and it was very difficult to keep up. I'm sure,
Yep.
I was watching your videos at the time. It was a very different experience than it is today.
Very true.
And yeah.
They call it the post-Jormungandr syndrome.
Yes,
You
man.
had to hope and pray, fingers crossed, that your node would be online at that time where you were elected to be slot leader.
Yes. It was a very different time for operating a stake pool.
It
But then
was.
you have Shelly get released, and then it's just like that entire time I was really, practicing every test. Now I was practicing, making sure I can keep my stake pool up and running and make sure it worked. And then once Shelly released, I was like, day one, I was there. Gotta have my pool there. Boom.
Yeah.
And from the experience, of course, when most people start their stake pool, no one's doing it because they think that one day it's going to create this lavish lifestyle for them and whatnot. They're doing it because they fundamentally believe in what like Cardano brings to the crypto ecosystem. We are a very different ecosystem than the other ones that are out there. And so I just want to do my part for the network. And that's why I created the 100x stake pool.
That's really powerful. That's really powerful. Yeah, man. It's like you don't really go into it hoping to make a lot of money. It's really more so for the experience. And, that's one of the things that I also enjoyed as well with the ITN. I was making these YouTube videos and then, I'm like, okay, well, I got a Raspberry Pi. Let me see what I can do here. I didn't know how to code. I didn't know Linux or anything like that. This was all part of the learning process. So yeah, I mean, for me as well, man, similar story, very similar story. It was just a matter of learning, you know, being able to figure out how I can contribute and, just being able to be a part of the journey. So yeah, that's an awesome story, man. I love that.
Thank you.
How has your experience been with being able to attract enough delegation? I definitely see a big topic of discussion, especially on social media, is a lot of these smaller stake pools are struggling right now. And, we see a lot of things coming up that could potentially be the cause of that. A lot of these ISOs that are attracting a lot of delegation. It's definitely something that a lot of smaller stake pools are concerned about as it comes to decentralization as well. So I guess from your perspective, could you tell us a little bit about that and, how that's kind of affected you and your stake pool?
Oh, well, fairly early on, it was difficult for me to get delegators, but we were able to like have enough to make a consistent block every epoch. And that was after the help of IOG and Emergo, actually picking random stake pools to join early on. Like I want to say that was like late 2020 or so. From there, the way that I look at operating a stake pool now is like I'm more so um using my stake pool to build the local community here, right? And so everyone that's here or that goes to our meetups, they're not they're not staking all their ADA with the pool, obviously, right? But it's more so it's like, hey, if we're going to be having these local events in this area, why not help out and delegate a small portion to the stake pool? And then what I do is in turn take those rewards and then make it so that we have the next set of events, whether that be like posting, whether that be going to a evening bar and whatnot at the Bishop Arts District, which is a nice area out here, right? Or whether that's like morning meetups and being on the Tuesday Gimbal Labs workshop. It's like making sure that more so trying. My goal for the stake pool isn't more so being a large scale stake pool. Like I more so want it to be something that is local and that it's used as a tool so that we as a community here in the Texas and here in the DFW or in Texas can have these types of events consistently.
I really like that. I really like that. So you're centering your stake pool around what you're doing out in the real world. You know, it's kind of like your, I guess, your funding source or like your bread and butter for what you want to create in terms of the value you provide. So I really like that, and I'd love to learn more about the meetups that you're having. So these are local meetups, like they're in person.
Yes,
Um,
local in person.
yeah.
Yes.
What are the turnouts like? What do you guys talk about there?
So the way the meetups are currently, we'll have anywhere between 8 to 10 people. But the last meetup we had four. It was super cold. It was on like a Tuesday morning because we wanted to be a part of the Gimbal Labs workshop, right? And they host their workshops every Tuesday morning. It's like a basically a Zoom call similar to this, where people are discussing different projects that they want to build on Cardano. And a lot of the Gimbal Labs guys are doing a lot of what I like to call theory crafting on what are good ideas and what are things people should be looking to build on the network. My goal for next year is, though, we eventually grow these meetups to 20, 30 people each month. And that way we have a ecosystem where it's like you can start to have people not only learn about Cardano, but as they learn about it, they're going to want to take part somehow. And one of the big things I notice is that, like, even for the people who are hosting Twitter spaces currently, if you have that engagement there, a lot of people don't realize that, like, you can really take part and be active in the community and be rewarded for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I really love your mindset in that it's a process, right? A lot of people who are going to want to start a stake pool, you know, it's just a matter of, okay, you got this node up and running, but now you got to go out and find your customers, right? So I really
Mm.
love your mindset in that you're aiming to kind of grow what you're already doing and allow your stake pool to be the foundation for that. So that's fantastic, man. You know, I'm hoping I can get the opportunity to meet up with you in Texas there and attend one of those in-person
Yeah.
meetups. I think that'd be awesome. You know, it's what we got a chance to experience back when we were in Miami and, you know, Wyoming. It's like that is actually, if you haven't gone to a meetup, right, for our audience, you know, it's really cool to get a chance to meet up with like-minded people in person. It's, you know, it's like the next level, right? Just to be able to collaborate and share ideas. So definitely, man, I'm really looking forward to that. Hopefully I can join you there in Texas one of these days. But
Definitely. Would love to have you out.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, cool, Vince. Yeah, man, you know, there's so much happening within the ecosystem. I guess another question that I have for you, man, is just with everything going on, you know, it's really hard to keep track, but you know, just exciting nonetheless. What are some of the things that you're looking forward to?
Oh, things I'm looking forward to. Where do I start? Charles hinted at a mini summit. Excited for that, obviously. Excited for Rare Bloom. I'm excited for CNFT Con. I'm just excited for Liquid.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Sunday Swap. Excited for Indigo Protocol. I'm excited for Equine. I just got my
Yeah.
horses.
Nice, nice. Blockchain
I'm
load at a cool 97%, you know. Mint and ADA handles and Equine at the same time.
Yes, I'm excited for the future at ADA handles. I'm excited for how great the wallet seems to be growing right now with CC Vault, Typhoon, of course, Nami Wallet. Like, this ecosystem right now is in such a beautiful spot, man. Like,
Yeah,
and it's such a it's really amazing to be a part of it, honestly. Like, it's a very surreal experience.
I couldn't have said it any better, man. Honestly, it's like just seeing where we were, where we are today, and where we're going. It's like, man, just buckle up. You know, it's like
Yeah.
get ready, get ready. Yeah, I'm also looking forward to all those things, brother. Like the in-person meetups next year, CNFT cons. So you mentioned that, you know, that's going to be in Nevada, Las Vegas. That's
Yes.
what they're saying. So looking forward to that. Also, the Rare Bloom event in Colorado,
Yes.
hosted by Bloom and Big Pay. That should be a
Yes.
lot of
Super
fun.
excited. Super
Yeah,
excited.
man.
And Marco, great guy. He for CNFTCon, he's actually the person that showed you the first Worlds Within. And so that
Yes.
was amazing, man. Shout
Yeah.
out to Marco.
Shout out to Marco. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And he's putting in a lot of work right now already for the CNFT con happening
Yes.
in 2022. So yeah, big props to him.
Yeah. And the one thing I didn't mention that I'm stoked for, World Mobile, dude. It's like Christmas early.
Oh man. So You know, they were dropping bombs over here just the past few days. 3 exchange listings all happening like a
Massive,
couple of days before Christmas, man. It's like,
massive.
yeah,
I was not expecting it. I was only expecting one, and I figured Sunday swap, But even with Muesli swap, I believe that's how that's pronounced, and Sunday swap, those two, I would have been happy with. I'd have been like,
yeah,
okay, I'm happy. But to see 3 different centralized exchanges, it's a beautiful thing.
it really is. It really is. It's interesting too, because I think a lot of US residents are going to be super, super stoked about it. You know, it just so happened
I
that
agree.
I guess with their pre-sale, of course, US and not being able to
Mhm.
hold a pre-sale there because of gray area within that. It's going to be great, especially for people living in the US, because it's like, yeah, man, we can pick up some world mobile tokens for Christmas. I'm all
Yes.
about it. Vince, I really enjoy talking to you, man. I feel like it's always great to get a chance to speak with members in our community, especially people who are building and, passionate about the ecosystem and what's coming up. Just really excited about that. I guess to close out for today, was there any last minute topics that you wanted to talk about?
Not that I can remember, man. I think we've had a great conversation. It's definitely been a pleasure. Meeting you has been a pleasure. I'm sure that over the course of this of 2022, many people will introduce us to each other again, and I'm
Yeah.
excited for it, man. Like I'm excited for what next year is going to bring, man.
Yeah.
2021 has been an amazing year in the ecosystem, and if 2022 is going to be like that plus more, I can't wait. I'm ecstatic.
Same, same. No, definitely a pleasure, man. It's gonna be an exciting time for sure. So, Vince, thanks so much, man. I guess for our audience, thank you also so much for watching. Vince, where can people go to find out more about what you're going to be up to, and how can they support you?
Yeah, Twitter. I'm extremely active. My Twitter handle is Vince100x. And Worlds Within .io. You can check out the our NFT project and join us. The community is very organic. It's very small. We didn't do a lot of the giveaway-esque promotions to build our community. It's very tight knit, and it feels as though everyone knows each other. Like when you talk in Discord, so it's fantastic.
That's
And you can
awesome.
check it out worldswithin.io.
Very cool. Well, very cool. Yeah, man. I will be sure to leave all those links for our audience. So, for everybody who does want to check them out, definitely be sure to check those links down in the description. Vince, thanks so much again, brother. Always a pleasure. And hopefully, we can get a chance to talk again soon.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Until the next one. Cheers.